Good afternoon. My name is Nikki Ashton. I'm the Member of Parliament for Churchill Kiewit-Nookaski. And I'm so proud to stand with you here today with youth, coaches, leaders from across northern Manitoba to talk about how our region needs to be on the map. Northern and Indigenous communities need to be on the map when it comes to the lead up to Canada co-hosting the 2026 Men's World Cup. Soccer has always been part of so many of our communities. Today, I'm joined by a player and coaches and band counselor from a Pasquiat Cree Nation, a First Nation that has a proud history of playing soccer. I'm joined by leaders in soccer in Flin Flon and Thompson, main soccer centers across our north. Soccer has a history in our region, in Indigenous communities, in Northern communities. And soccer has a bright future. It has incredible momentum. It is the fastest growing sport in the country across Canada. And we see that firsthand in Northern Manitoba. We also see how diverse it is that for girls, boys, for Indigenous kids, non Indigenous kids, for immigrant and refugee kids, this is a sport that they see themselves in. This is a sport that provides opportunity for them. But we also have to be clear that in regions like ours, soccer and recreation more broadly saves lives. It gives young people hope in the face of increasingly challenging, difficult situations. It gives kids a chance to imagine and dream big beyond the field, beyond their community, beyond even their country, and to look at the world. Canada co hosting the World Cup is a historic event. This is the world's largest single sporting event. And the fact that our country is co hosting this event is nothing short of historic. But this is also an opportunity for us as Canadians to showcase that we are a soccer country, an emerging soccer country. I think of my kids who tuned in to the World Cup just a couple of months ago, and they were so excited to cheer on Canada, so excited to cheer on Alfonso Davies. And they were also so crushed when Canada didn't make it further. And yet for me, for my generation, we were thrilled we were there in the first place. The ground is shifting. The next generation of kids across our communities and across our country is seeing that soccer is a sport for them. And so what we want to make sure is that as Canada rolls out its plan to co-host the World Cup, that it is supporting and investing in young people across the country, and particularly in young people that live in communities like where we are, in Indigenous and Northern communities that love soccer, that play soccer, but need the support in terms of infrastructure, in terms of programming, in terms of equipment, in terms of support across the board. So we are here to make a clear call to the Government of Canada and to FIFA that we want to work with you, and we want Canada to step up and work with Indigenous and Northern communities in the lead up to Canada co-hosting the World Cup. This is a message you're going to hear from leaders here today, coaches, players here today, that I am so proud to join with. I want to acknowledge those that are first standing behind me. Amy Singh Young, a player from a Pasquiat Cree Nation, just 18 years old, who's played soccer for years. Savannah Henderson, longtime coach and player and full-time educator. Frank Young, player, longtime coach and coordinator. And Dale Knutson, counselor for Pasquiat Cree Nation in charge of recreation and health. I also want to acknowledge that zooming in from Northern Manitoba are Erica Christensen, the technical director for the Phantom Lake Soccer Club based in Flin Flon, and Nuno Pereira in my home community of Thompson, the president of the Thompson Junior Soccer Association. With that, I will pass on the mic to our first speaker, Amy Singh Young.
Hi, everybody. I started playing soccer when I was 8 years old. And when I was 14 years old, I had to play in women's tournaments because I wanted to play a proper game with my friends. But my friends didn't want to play because they were afraid to get hurt. So they started playing when they were 16. And when we were 16, we tried to play together. but we kept getting split apart. When we were 16, we made our own team, the Superstars 2.0. It's a generational thing. My parents played on the first Superstars. Sorry, I don't know what else to say.
Future.
Oh, okay, yeah. If we had, since I started playing with women's at 14 years old, I didn't get as much experience as other people did. So if we had leagues and other tournaments for my own age, which we didn't, we would get more opportunities to go play for universities, maybe even Team Canada, which I wanted to do, but it's still a dream of mine, and I hope I can go someday. Thank you.
And so my name is Savannah Henderson. I've been playing soccer for the past 25 years of my life. I started playing soccer when I was 10 years old. Um, as, Soccer really changed my life. Throughout the years, I've coached, I volunteered, I've hosted a lot of soccer events. Last year, I went into a communities, 5 different communities in northern Manitoba to promote soccer. When we arrived at these communities, we noticed that the fields that in the communities were not at par what a soccer field truly looks like. Some of the soccer fields that they were on, the kids would play on rocks. Uh, Also, a lot of the kids would come without no shoes, no soccer cleats. They would be wearing big runners, sometimes sandals. One soccer field had one net when you're supposed to have 2 nets on the soccer field. A lot of our Indigenous kids are loving the sport in northern Manitoba. We grew up playing it. It saved my life, and it's definitely going to save other lives. We grew up playing against women, women that were 10 years older than us. And also, I always wondered why I didn't have the opportunity to play in higher levels rather than just playing in the reserve level. When I think about all the Indigenous kids, I think about they deserve all these opportunities that should be provided in northern Manitoba, because not everyone can afford to travel 6 hours just to play a soccer game. Not everyone can afford 6 hours just to attend a camp. That's why it's so important that we have our own programming in northern Manitoba, so we can provide all these opportunities to all the Indigenous kids that love soccer. Um, so with this is why we are calling on Canada to invest uh, in year-round soccer infrastructure in northern Manitoba, so our kids can have that chance to have hope to be on Team Canada one of these years. So we would be leaving a legacy. This is the start of something new, and something that will um, definitely be recognized in Indigenous communities in northern Manitoba. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Frank Young. I'm a longtime coach. I coordinate a bunch of stuff back home. I give up my free time for the youth. I do a lot, and I don't ask for nothing. Soccer has been introduced to me when I was about 4 years old, but soccer has been around the community for over 50 years. And in 50 years, I've never played organized. It was all against the men. And now I coach these girls, and it's hard for them to get noticed. I try my hardest to take them to big tournaments, but because we're not sanctioned, no one would play us, as it comes with insurance or something, they say. But if we had a youth league, these kids will get noticed. and it's the gangs that are really they try recruit them, but it's hard for me to tell this kid that he can't go hang out with his brother and his cousin because they're in a gang. But this kid loves soccer so much that he will stay on that right path. And right now, in the fall, he's going to university. This kid's good. I'm pretty sure one day this kid's gonna wear Team Canada jersey. 20, 30 years ago, you guys started giving us rinks. Now we have professional NHLers. If we had an indoor facility, I probably see in 20 years, 30 years, young native kid wearing that Team Canada jersey. I won't be able to see it, but that's why I do it, for the kids that I don't get to see. Thanks.
Danse, good afternoon. Thank you for having us. And my name is Dale Knutson. I'm the portfolio for recreation and health. As you heard the stories from our band members, you know, there's a lot of missed opportunities, for the kids to be noticed because we don't have that sanctioned sport in our community, or in fact in any other community in the north. It's sad that to see that we don't have the same opportunities as the kids from the south, and we're only 6 hours north. Um, Soccer's been an outlet for for our members for at least the early '60s. But the sad fact about it is that we don't get the acknowledgement that we should get. I have a story where our band members took a team to play in Saskatchewan and they beat a team in a university team. You know, that goes to show that if they had the opportunity to go try out at a university, it would give them hope. To give them hope to reach for the stars. You know, to give them incentive to go after their goals and stay on the right path. It's an outlet for our kids to be safe from gangs and the drugs and everything that's happening with our communities nowadays. So this is why, you know, this is why I got into this career path, is to invest in our kids. At the end of the day, everything we do, everything that Canada does, it should be investing into the kids. You know, that's what we do it for. This is why we are calling out Canada to invest in our kids and an all year round soccer facility. You know, it's important to us. It should be important to you. So thank you for listening to us today.
Thank you very much. And you heard a powerful testimony from a player, coaches, leader from a Pasquiat Cree Nation, who even earlier, were sharing stories of coming to a game and not having proper equipment, like even shin pads, and having to repurpose Tim Hortons cups and pizza boxes to be able to just play the game that they love, that so many of us love. You hear it firsthand, the passion that they have, that we have in our region when it comes to soccer, and that so many Canadians have. And we're going to hear more about that from our next two speakers who are joining us on Zoom. First, I want to turn to Erica Christensen, who's joining us from Flin Flon. Erica.
Hi, thank you for having me here today. My name is Erica Christensen. I'm the technical director of Phantom Lake Soccer Club. We are a 100% volunteer soccer club that straddles the border between Manitoba and Saskatchewan, including the towns of Flin Flon, Creighton, and Denair Beach. Over the past decade, we've had about, on average, 300 athletes registered with us each year. Where we're not without struggles. COVID affected us uniquely here, as players could not cross the border to get to the different soccer fields, although it could just be 5 minutes from home or school. Just last year, the major mine in town closed. The population has declined and families have to adjust to out-of-town shift work and other changes around them. But we're Northerners, we're hardy. PLSC is committed more than ever to sport, keeping sport accessible, safe, and inclusive. The world may look a little different, but the field is still their home. We have kept our fees steady for the last 5 years, and we continue to do so. And we expand our season into a local hockey arena so that kids can play while the snow melts. We have 40 volunteer coaches who compete upwards of 5 hours of training to go to field after work, sometimes shift work, just to be on the field with the kids and give them the best experience possible. We have specific programming for girls from under 9 to under 19. So any girl who wants to play can come play with us. We are founding members of a new regional league that will launch this year so that players can play real competitions in their own towns instead of driving hours and hours to the other major cities. But we've only just begun. Phantom Lake Soccer Club is that big little club. We want to be known as that. After all, if this town can put out Bobby Clarks, why not Alfonso Davies? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erica. And now we will turn to Nuno Pereira.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Nuno Pereira. I am the president of the Thompson Junior Soccer Association. I grew up in Thompson. I was born in Portugal, but I've been in Thompson since about 3 years old. Growing up here, I've played soccer. I've seen the sport firsthand grow. It's not been without challenges, of course. Thompson has also had so many people come from all parts of the world, and they've all brought soccer with them. So it's an amazing connection that we all have together. And we've had lots of challenges with lack of the fields being properly to be used. We're looking at the momentum that we have coming forward here with the World Cup coming, and looking at Canada and looking at FIFA to support us up here in the north, where there is a lot of kids playing soccer. I personally have coached, I've played, and the joy I get when I see these young kids wearing these Alfonso Davies jerseys or these Cristiano Ronaldo jerseys or whatnot, and the joy that they get when they learn how to just do a quick little pass or a shot. And it's just, it brings joy knowing that the sport is growing, and the fact that we're co-hosting the next World Cup. The time is now, I think. I really do believe that. And I'm very, very passionate about this sport and us growing it. I just feel that, you know, this is the time. And I really, really think that we should be calling on FIFA and Canada to help support us here in the north. I know the saying usually goes, it all starts down with the kids, but really it's got to start with us. It's got to start with you, Canada. It's got to start with FIFA. We need the support because these kids are going to grow up and they're going to do something very special. I really, really honestly believe that. I have such, you can tell the passion in my voice for this sport. So I really, really hope that we can count on the support from everyone. And I really appreciate the time that you guys have given me to speak here. Thank you again, Nikki.
Thank you very much, Nuno, and thank you so much, Erica. You heard clearly from Flim Flon, from Thompson, the power of soccer in across our region. You know, communities where soccer has been part of our history in OCN over 50 years. Thompson, Flim Flon, many of us grew up playing it, but limited because of the lack of infrastructure, the lack of supports. And now we're seeing this new generation that knows Canada's on the world stage, that sees the possibility of taking the game up to that next level. But as so many have said very clearly here today, we need Canada to step up, and we want to work with Canada. We want to work with FIFA and all players around the table to make sure that Northern and Indigenous youth, First Nations, Métis, and Northern youth are on the map of this country when it comes to soccer in the lead up to Canada co-hosting the 2026 Men's World Cup. And I want to again thank everybody for taking part, and we want to, of course, check as well if there are any questions.